Hello, gorgeous. Kim Becker here. Hey, I wanted to come to you today and do just a quick video on how to give yourself a very simple manicure. So before you get started, there's a few things that you'll need. I have a towel down on my table as well as a paper towel on top of that. I have a manicure bowl to soak my nails. I have a base coat, a top coat, and the color that I chose. I also have a little cuticle oil. I've got a couple of cotton balls, emery board, a few fingernail polish remover pads, but if you don't have these, you can just use cotton balls, an orange wood stick, and I have a set of nail clippers. So I'm going to gently turn the video so that you can just see my hands so that you can watch step by step how to give yourself a manicure. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I've prepared just a warm bowl of water, and you want to make sure that you soak your nails before you do anything as far as pushing your cuticles back. Now, if you don't have time to soak your nails, the best time to actually push your cuticles back is when you get out of the shower or the bath. And you can simply just wrap the towel around your thumb, just like this, and then gently push your cuticles back. Now, the reason that it's best to soak your nails or do it after the bath or the shower is that it makes your um, cuticles more flexible. And so there's less chance of you tearing or ripping them. When we do a lot of the services on women battling cancer, we take a lot of extra precautions in place because we understand that we're dealing with somebody that has a compromised immune system. So the last thing that we want to do is actually cause a tear in the skin that would be an open wound for bacteria or fungus to set in. So we want to make sure that we take a lot of those extra precautions. So I recommend soaking your nails first before you push them back. So once we've soaked the nails, I would say 3 to 5 minutes, but for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to soak quite that long. We can just set the bowl aside. Oh, the other thing I did want to show you though too is when we do the manicures in our affiliate salons across the United States, we actually give them a bowl. And as you can see, this is a disposable liner. So every gorgeous woman that comes in that gets a manicure gets a new liner that's inside of there. Again, just to take one step further to make sure that she's protected throughout the service. So we're just going to take this out and dab it off. Let me move my bowl over here and take my towel and just dab my fingers off. And then the next thing we're going to do is you're going to take your orange wood stick and you're going to gently push back your cuticles. Turn it this way so you can see. So it's just a very light touch, and all it's going to do is just remove some of that unwanted skin around your nails. Now, I don't have any nippers at home with me, and when we do a manicure through Hello Gorgeous through our certifications, we don't even recommend that our nail techs use the nippers. Again, even the most skilled manicurist can make a mistake, and a woman battling cancer doesn't need a mistake. So we don't recommend that you even put the nippers out on the table. So again, that's not an implement that I have at home. So I don't even have any nippers here. So we're just going to gently go through and push back the cuticles. And again, it makes it nice and flexible and pretty easy because of the fact that that was soaked. Now, my nails are pretty short. I was telling my son the other day, I used to have really long nails. I love long nails, but not so much anymore. It's easier for me to work when I have a shorter nail. But I want to remind you that a short nail that's manicured looks much better than a short nail that's not manicured. So if your nails happen to be cut down, I want to give you just a quick technique as to how to do that. You don't want to go straight in and cut the nail that way, as that will actually create cracks and breaks here. And if you've ever had a nail that has broken down low, it can be very painful. So the best way to cut a nail, to trim a nail if you have to, is to go in at an angle. And you're almost going to, what you're going to do is cut the nails in a third. So you're going to take a corner off here and then a corner off here. And then you're going to go straight in and then take the top off there. So that way, then you're actually able to remove length, but you're able to keep the strength of the nail because you don't want to weaken the nail. Now, if you need to do that, you can do that on all 5 of your nails or all 10 of your nails. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take an emery board to shape the nails. And again, this is just something, what we want to do is encourage growth in everything that we do. We want to make sure that we keep the integrity of that nail to the best we can. So you're going to file the nail and you're only going to do it in one direction. Have you seen those people that actually take the nail file and you seesaw it back and forth? Well, that's not good for your nails because it creates a lot of friction and it can create some splinters in there. Again, another reason that you want to make sure that you soak your nails prior to giving yourself a manicure is that think about a match and you can't strike a wet match. It won't light because there's no friction there. So when you have your nails that are wet and then you take an emery board across them, it softens that so there's less friction to it. So what we're going to do is just go across the top, and then I'm just going to lightly take those corners off. And again, we're not going to go all the way down into here. You're just going to go on the top, just at where the top of that fingertip is. So same thing here. Just lightly go across in one direction. And then you're going to just round out those edges. And there are all different types of nail shapes. You can do rounded, you can do square. They have what they call squoval, which is actually square on the top. That's kind of how I like mine. And then they're oval on the edges. And then most recently, one of the more prominent fashion focused nail is where it's very pointed. And that's where they come in and they take these corners off that are here in the nails. So it doesn't have to be anything, it's not a large movement. It's just very soft and moving it in one direction. That's all you need to do is to shape the nails. So again, I'm coming across the top with just one direction. And then I'm going to lightly round off those edges. And then we're going to do the thumb, which is the last one. So again, moving it in one direction. So again, moving it in one direction. Now, if your nails are dry, like what mine are right now, because I'm washing my hands profusely, nail cuticle oil is really good to use at night. And if you want to encourage your nails to grow, the best thing to do is to put a drop of oil on your nails. And you put the drop on, and then what you're going to do is just do a circular massage on each of the nails right at the cuticle and to the count of 10. And if you do that at night, it has more properties. It doesn't have more properties, but it's more beneficial at night. Your body more readily absorbs the molecular structure of an oil at night than it does during the day. And so if you use that oil at night and if you actually do the massaging, it stimulates growth. So if you're having a problem and your nails aren't growing, that's one way to be assured that your nails will grow. So we've pushed back the cuticles and we've done a little bit of filing on them. So what I like to do then is just to go through and make sure that they're clean. So I'll take a little bit of fingernail polish remover on a cotton ball and I'll just run this over. Now, prior to the start of our manicure, I'd already taken off my polish again, just for time's sake. So again, you don't want to start this method until you've taken off your nail polish. And then we're just going to go through with the polish remover to make sure we get any residue that's off. Right now, if, as I talked about with the oil, if you don't have any cuticle oil at home, you can actually use olive oil right now. It too can be very nourishing, and it's good for your nails as well. And it's not toxic at all. So it would be something that would be very good. So after we've pushed back the cuticles and we filed them and we took a little bit of fingernail polish remover to remove any residue, we're going to go in with a base coat. And I'm only going to do one hand again for the sake of time. So we're going to take the base coat. And I always use a base coat. Number one, it doesn't stain the nails, then your color doesn't stain the nails. But second, I feel like you get a longer lifespan out of your nail polish when you do this. I only do my nails about once a week. Also, if your nails are dry, if you're going through chemotherapy, a lot of times your nails can be dry and they'll peel. the less that you can put the fingernail polish remover on your nail, the better. So if you can just do your nails once a week, even if it means that during the like halfway through the week, you just put another coat of color and another top coat on top of that, that's really a great thing to do. So you don't want to dry your nails out any more than you have to. So once a week, once every 10 days is the best, about the best time frame. So we're going to take the base coat and we're going to start in the middle, and you're going to come from the middle of the nail out to the end and then go back towards the cuticle, and you're going to do one strip down the middle and then one on each side. Now, the reason that we start in the middle of the nail and then work down is so that the product that's on the brush, if you start at the cuticle, then it has a tendency to seep into all the cracks and crevices. So if you start in the middle of the nail and brush it towards the tip of the nail and then work back down to the cuticle, it'll be less messy, especially when you're doing the color. And you just lightly brush that towards the cuticle and get every angle of that covered. And you don't want to overwork the polish. You can end up with bubbles and streaks in your nails. So make sure that you've got ample product on the brush, but not too much, because if it's too heavy, then it doesn't dry in a timely manner. And then you end up with nicks and bumps and all kinds of things that you don't want. What I always do too is with all of the polish is I seal the edge. I just go back and forth over the edge. And what that does is if you just go to the edge, sometimes it stops straight off. But if you seal that edge, it helps again just with the wearability of the polish. Again, I'm out for longevity. If I can get 9, 10 days out of a manicure when I do my nails, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not a person that likes to do my nails 2 or 3 times a week. I want to do it one time and I want to get, like I said, 9 or 10 days out of it and not have to think about it again. So once you've done your base coat, then you're going to go in with your color, and you're going to do 2 coats of color. Now, keep an orange wood stick handy, and that's the other reason for this paper towel. So if I happen to get any on the cuticle, I can just lightly take the orange wood stick and go around the edge and wipe it on my paper towel. What I don't want to do is wipe it on a regular towel, because the nail polish is tough to get out of a good towel. So if you put a paper towel down, it's a little easier for you to, it's disposable, so you can just get rid of it. So again, just I always put the product just on one side of the brush, just on the top side, and then I turn it over and I start in the middle of the nail and work towards the tip. And then once I've dispersed some of that product, then I go back in and I work towards the cuticle and on each side. And again, seal the tip. So again, go from the middle to the end and then work it back down towards the cuticle. And I have a little bit on this edge here, so I'm just going to clean it up as I go. It just makes it a little bit easier. So again, just product on one side of the brush, go from the middle of the nail to the end, to the tip, and then work it back down towards the cuticle. And make sure that you get every side. If you don't get all of those sides covered, then it leaves a little bit of a gap in there, which is where the nail may chip and start to peel off. So come to the center of the nail to the tip, and then work back down towards the cuticle. And at the end, seal your edge. And when you're doing your thumb, make sure that you keep the rest of your hand off of your towel or whatever space you're working on. So I'm going to go from the middle of the nail to the tip. And then back down towards the cuticle, and make sure that I get it really good close to that edge without actually getting it on the edge. Okay? All right, so then you would go through and add a second coat. And you want to make sure that you cover everything just as good the second time around as you did the first time around. The one thing I remember years ago, I met a woman that was heavy set and always said that she had tried every diet that was available to her, and no matter what she did, was she just couldn't lose the weight. So she decided that she wasn't going to spend her money on diets anymore, that she was just going to take that money and have her nails done because women that are heavy look better with long nails. And it always made me laugh, and I always think about that. But I really do feel better when my nails are done. I feel more finished. I read an article once that said the first thing that a person looks at are your eyes, and the second thing that they look at are your hands. And so I always remembered that. I always like to have that finishing touch just to make sure that my nails are done, and whether anybody else looks at them or not, it always makes me feel better. But I also believe too, your nails aren't too short to have a manicure. I hear that so often, especially with some of the women that we serve. Oh, my nails are too short. There's nothing there for you to manicure. I truly believe a short nail that's manicured looks much better than a short nail that's not manicured. So I would encourage you to take the time and get the manicure done, or even if you do something by yourself, it looks better and it feels better. So once you're done with the second coat of polish, so far we've got one base coat on and two coats of color. So we're going to take a top coat. This one needs to be, I would tell you, I am not endorsing any products at all, but I will tell you that this Posh top coat is my absolute favorite. I'm not one to sit still. And so I have a hard time letting my polish dry. And the Posh does a great job of drying your nails pretty quickly. So it's the same thing. Use the product on one side, start in the middle, work towards the tip. So we're going to keep going on all of the nails with the top coat. Again, start in the middle and then work towards the edge and make sure you seal that edge. And then for a finishing touch, what you can do is you can take a little bit of your fingernail polish remover, and if there's any residue around the edge of the nail, you can take your orange wood stick and just dip it into the bottle of your fingernail polish remover and just go around the edges where there might be a little bit of excess polish that you don't want. And actually, what we're going to do is make a little Q-tip here. So if you take your orange wood stick and you take a little bit of cotton on it and create like a cotton swab, and then use your fingernail polish remover. That does a better job of getting any of that residue off of there. And voila, that's it. So then the challenge would be to do it on your right hand if you're left-handed, and left hand if you're right-handed. So I wanted to do just one nail just for demonstration purposes today. I'd let this sit about 10 or 15 minutes. Another way to expedite drying is to actually take it and run it underneath cold water after about 10 or 15 minutes, and that cold water will set it in. And that's it. That's all we've got. So for more hints and tips on different beauty beauty tips, beauty hints, anything like that, check out our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. If there's any videos that you'd like to see, just send me a message, like this video, and pass it on to your friends. Thanks so much and have a gorgeous day.